My name is Pat Bohse, and I will be the host today of Welcome to Scan. Welcome to Scan is a TV show that highlights senior issues, and also we bring to the audience good information, trusted information on topics that would be of interest to them. We are speaking today with Gregory Kuras, who is the president of the New Jersey Senior Tax Advisors. Gregory specializes in maximizing retirement income and minimizing related income taxes. I'm sure a topic that we're all very interested in. He helps people plan for tax-efficient income, and he also is able so that you're able to live a lifestyle that you deserve and that you desire. So welcome.
Thank you, Pat.
It's nice to have you here with us. I know that recently you participated in some of Scan's classes at Boscoff, which always are action-packed. I mean, we do 40 classes in 4 weeks up there, and I believe that we had almost 700 people register. So I'm excited that we can do that and provide that information to the public. Yep. I heard that everyone who went to your class found it helpful and enjoyable as much as one can enjoy the topic, which we're going to talk about as far as Social Security. Yep. And what I have found in my 35 years in the business of aging is that no one ever talks about it a lot, and they don't even know that they have to go apply for it. They think that it just comes naturally, and so hopefully today we can educate them about the process and the content.
Very good.
So welcome.
Happy to help.
So why don't you just give us some information first about yourself and your expertise in this field, and then we'll get into some of those questions.
Well, I'm a financial planner, certified financial planner, a couple other designations. I have an office in Spring Lake Heights, and I mostly work with seniors. So it involves three legs, as I think of it. I do a lot of money management, tax preparation and planning, and Medicare help, insurance, things like that. Bring it all together, a few other things, and I try to help seniors get the most out of their money.
Great. Scan's going to be doing a new workshop in the future, and it's called A Day Late, a Dollar Short. And it's meant for people who have retired but have not necessarily planned, number one, or are outliving their assets. So we're hoping that in the future we might be able to work with you a little closer.
Certainly.
And so we're talking now about a five-legged stool versus three going forward, because we do think sometimes people might have to work a little longer than they ever expected or go back because of the income issue. So tell us, what is the value of having Social Security?
Well, it's very valuable. Most seniors understand that. Some of the younger people kind of scoff at Social Security, like it's not that much or it's not a big deal. When you add up how much someone can receive over their lifetime, it can be over $1 million of income. That's nothing to scoff at. And of course, some planning about when you take and how you take can, maximize that. But it's real money.
I know that because, we just shared that I'm going through some training also. And when you look at the actual retirement age versus working a little longer and start adding up those additional benefits or percentages, the number really kind of goes off the chart, which is, I don't think people sometimes take the time to do that. I mean, I know that my retirement age is 66, but I don't think nowadays anyone's ever going to really retire. I think we'll probably always be working, doing something going forward for a variety of reasons.
Well, we're seeing more of that. Many of my clients do work part-time, and even modest work, some part-time work, make $8,000 or $10,000 a year, which is very doable, can really stretch the dollars. When I crunch the numbers and do a formal financial plan, adding that little bit of part-time income makes all the other numbers look better. Of course, people don't want to have to do it. If you do it by choice, that's great. Sometimes you have to. But so we try and get the most we can out of the assets people have, pension, Social Security, and then hopefully working is an option, not a necessity.
Yeah, that's one of those fourth leg stool, the stool. But so the question always comes up, and I'm sure that you hear it a lot, is will Social Security be there for me? And I'm sure that depending on who's asking the question, they might have different interests. So tell us what you think.
Yeah, it gets into a political issue at times, but every few months you'll see an article in the newspaper, I've seen them in the press, and other places, about Social Security is going bankrupt, or Social Security has no money in it, and so forth. And it's kind of alarmist. Now, the fact is, there is a trust fund which is full of treasuries. Sometimes people will disparage it, say it's full of IOUs. Well, that's what a bond is. It's an IOU. And there's a lot of money in it. The total amount has started to decline over the last couple of years. And I remember seeing really scary articles like, oh my goodness, it's declining. Well, we knew it was going to decline. It only earns so much, and contributions from people working are so much. And we have more and more baby boomers retiring and taking money out. So this is very foreseeable. So the total trust fund is declining. But even if the government did nothing, and I mean nothing, to fix it, and we just kept running along, no one's benefits would be affected until around 2037. Okay, and then we would kind of hit the wall where there's no more trust fund, but benefits will keep being paid. And the reason is everyone is still working and
contributing.
But the only money that could come out is what's going in. Mm-hmm. And what you'd see is a decline in benefits of about 25%. Now, the government has tweaked the system many, many times. You mentioned your retirement age. It started at 65. Then it went up in steps to 66 and went up in steps to 67. They can increase that again. They could increase the amount they tax for Social Security contributions. They could reduce the cost. There's a million things they could do.
Right.
And eventually they'll do it, right? And but that's all political.
Well, again, so the good news is that it'll be there. It might not look exactly like it does now, but it will be there, not only for the baby boomers who are coming into the system, but the other generations that are following and contributing. And I don't think, again, people do the math or sit down and do and collect the information about how that. It's not the whole financial pie when you're retired, but it's a piece of it, and it's a really important piece. And I think because the other issue is that nowadays so many people don't have pension plans, or the employers are not providing that. So it's really important to start looking at what does that all look like, and getting those numbers down. How much can I expect to receive? And I think that there's a calculation that goes on with that.
Yeah, and it can get a little technical, but the two main things is the age at which you begin receiving benefits. So for people retiring around now, full retirement age is 66.
Right.
Okay. And you'll get your full benefit. You can collect earlier at a reduced amount. You can even wait later. You could wait for, say, to age 70, and then your benefit will be greater. Mm-hmm. And the calculations on that, I've done them back and forth. They're quite fair. I mean, it's based on actuarial tables. So there's reasons you might want to start earlier or late, and that's an important decision. That's where I think I could be helpful with people. It's a big decision, and it's irrevocable. Basically, actually, you get one chance to change your mind within the first year, but after that, it's set in concrete. You really want to make the right decision.
Yeah, and I think that people should really seek out that, whether it's individually or if there's community education like we try to provide regularly. The other thing that I know, and this is one of our signature programs, is financial literacy for older women. And in many cases, when we look at their Social Security packages, they're much less because they might not have worked the 40 quarters, or their salary was really very low, whether it was minimum wage and stuff like that. So their retirement or their Social Security check might average between $700 and $900 a month, and that might be all they have. And so that's what gets us nervous here at SCAN, because who can live on that?
Well, you can't.
Right? Especially in Monmouth and Ocean County, where we're located. I mean, we're part of a bigger system, and we know that an individual would probably cost anywhere from $35,000 to $45,000 basically to live here.
Yeah, just to live.
And it's really expensive.
Now, Social Security was meant to be a safety net. It was never meant to be something you lived on.
Right.
You're supposed to have some savings and this and that, hopefully a pension. There's other options now. Like, there's ways to get income, but I know I forget the exact percentage. There are a significant number of people where Social Security is their main income by far.
Absolutely.
It is scary.
That is.
Yeah.
And that's the people we're trying to help too and work with and provide information about the other kinds of benefit programs that they might be eligible for. But with that said, so now I am turning my appropriate age to apply for Social Security. What should one do?
Well, you should know about what your benefits are. Everyone gets a benefit statement every year. I think you receive it about 3 months before your birthday. And they're pretty accurate. You can look on government websites to get a more accurate number, but that's really close. And you just have to integrate it with everything else. I guess as we started talking about when to begin, the big thing is if you begin early, before your full retirement age, and if you're going to work, you have to be very careful. Because you might actually have to repay benefits, which is the last thing you want.
Absolutely.
So there's a number, there's a certain amount you're allowed to make and not pay back benefits between, say, 62 and 66. If memory serves, it's about $14,150 a year.
Yep.
And once you go over that, you start paying back. So I have clients who work. I could think of one fellow at Home Depot, and around August, he hits that number. And he just goes into the manager's office and he says, you know, I'm done. And the manager knows. He has other people in that situation. He says, okay, great having you. See you in January.
Yep.
You know, but coordinating is important. If you're past that age, say 66, sometimes it really pays to wait. And again, I've done these numbers on the computer back and forth. Even though actuarially speaking, it's fair starting early or late, very often you'll have a case where you have one main breadwinner. Okay, I think of my example. My wife works part-time, and she worked before we had kids, so one of those people doesn't have a great work history as far as contributions. It'd be great for me if I can delay even up to age 70. And the reason is, see, so far we're talking about retirement benefits based on our own work, but there's two other benefits you have to take into account, and one of them is survivor benefits. So the way survivor benefits work, if one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse gets the higher of the two benefits. Okay, in my case, that would be me. So if I can delay to age 70, hopefully I can, then if I predecease my wife, she's going to get a much bigger benefit. So it's like life insurance. And that's the one time it really pays. So when I do these calculations, I very often end up advising the spouse, take whenever you want, but the main breadwinner, if you can delay, delay, and you're doing your spouse a favor.
Yeah, big time. And then the other, again, I know if someone's retiring and they're married and they do the calculations and they're making less than half of what their spouse is, that they can apply for additional spouse benefit and make half of what the breadwinning person would be bringing home. So it might be an additional $100 or $200, but sometimes no one knows that stuff, and I'm not seeing people jumping up and down, especially on the giving side, telling people about those opportunities. So it's really important that people get to understand that.
Yeah, the spouse benefit is nice. So even if you had, let's say, of course now it's changing very often, the woman is the main breadwinner, you know, but traditionally it's been the man. If the wife had no earnings history at all, paid nothing into Social Security, she can still get a benefit. If the husband retires and say he gets a $2,000 a month benefit, she can get $1,000 a month.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. And then again, the survivor, if he was to pass away, she would step up to his and get the $2,000. So yeah, that's really nice. You don't have to have the earnings history necessarily.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, and that's just, in my case, a very well kept secret until recently. And then once it came out of the Pandora's box, it was like I've been seeing it every place. So I'm really excited about getting that information out. I think that I'm probably considering retiring when I'm 70, so I'll get the maximum benefit.
Great.
I know that my husband will absolutely retire when he's 66 because he doesn't want to wait one more minute, and I think he's been retired for a long period of time already.
Okay.
And so it's kind of reverse here, but he'll be able to benefit from mine at some point in time.
Yeah, and it gets a little obscure, but sometimes there's games you can play. We talk about the spousal benefit, and we always think of the one with the lesser earnings getting a spousal benefit on the spouse with the higher earnings. Actually, you can reverse that sometimes. And it's not cheating, it's not gaming the system, but there are cases, depending on the ages, where I tell the higher earning spouse to claim a spousal benefit and collect it for a few years. He's delaying his own benefit till a certain age, 69, 70, and then he switches to his own benefit.
Yes.
It's free money.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while you get a neat case where, I mean, if the government's going to give you the money, you might as well consider
I think
it.
that's the case that I'm looking at.
Okay.
So the other thing I think it's really confusing is that while you apply for Social Security at your retirement age, whatever that might be, you have to apply for Medicare when you're 65. You know, and I do think that people think that that comes automatic, like you don't have to put in or notify Medicare that you're going to be 65, that they have this information stored someplace and magically the card comes to you. So
Sometimes. Only if you're already collecting social, I think you'll automatically be enrolled in Part B.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah, you have to go down to Social Security office and do it formally.
And again, we usually suggest that they do it like 3 months before their 65th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So that they can enjoy the benefit completely versus waiting.
And that relates to the class I did here last week, which is on Medicare. And you really wanted to get all your Medicare and any secondary insurance in line before your 65th birthday. Yes, absolutely.
So what other pearls of wisdom do you want to share with us at this point in time? Any other information on Social Security or even Medicare? Because not that they go hand in hand, but they kind of do.
They kind of do. Well, there's no hard and fast rules about when to collect and how to do things. You really have to do case by case. If you know the right questions to ask, and you can go down to your Social Security office, they're often very helpful. Frankly, it kind of depends on who you get, but they really do try to be helpful and give you some options, and you can do that. You can meet with a private person like myself, a financial planner, if they're versed on that. And you have to make your own decision. It doesn't matter what your neighbor did or your friends did, you know. So it's very unique. One of the things everyone has to face, though, if you have more than a modest income, is taxes. Your Social Security benefits can be taxable. Some people pay no tax on it if they're more modest income. Some people pay tax on up to 85% of their benefits, and then other people fall in between. And now you really have to start coordinating your pension, your IRA withdrawals, earnings, investments, Social Security. And now you're looking at a kind of holistic approach. How can we just get the most out of all this? We have all this stuff, but if you can get the same income and pay less tax, well, obviously that's something we want to look at.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a really wonderful point to bring up because, again, people think that it's free money. I don't think anything in the world anymore is free, but it's something that they have to look at seriously in regards to what will they have to pay out. And the coordination or the conversation has to happen. We're kind of getting close to closing, which I can't believe that the conversation goes so quickly.
Yeah.
So any last-minute wrap-up suggestions?
Well, like I said, it's a big decision and a basically irrevocable decision. You want to make the right one, so sit down with someone and really think it through, make the right choices. Same thing like with pension. You make your pension election. That's an enormous decision. People spend about 30 seconds on it. They look at the form, oh, this one looks good, and they send it in, and they just made a commitment of what their finances are going to look like for the next 25 years. It really deserves more thought. So,
and the other thing that I know is that when you talk about financial planning and there's estimates of how long we're going to live, add another 10 to 20 years to that. So I want to thank you, Gregory, for being our guest today and talking about this great topic. We're going to be taking a break and be back shortly to talk to Andrea Tarr about SCAN. Thank you.
Take it from me. Living with a chronic disease is no easy task, but I learned to better manage my health condition, and you can too. Take Control of Your Health is the chronic disease self-management program created by Stanford University. This fun, innovative course is now offered to all county residents. Diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, cancer. Take Control of Your Health gives proven strategies to manage these conditions and reclaim your life. See how nutrition, exercise, and various mind techniques can help you overcome depression, increase energy, and manage pain. You'll not only get this book when you participate, you'll also receive the guidance and support of others living with a chronic illness, just like you. Take control of your health in 6 short sessions.
Call the number on your screen to register or get further information at scannj.com. Brought to you by SCAN, Social Community Activities Network, with funding made available by the Monmouth County Office on Aging.
Welcome back. My name is Pat Bohse, and I'm here with Andrea Tarr, the Program Director for SCAN. Hi.
Hey Pat, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm excited because we have some new things happening here at SCAN and new programs to offer, so tell us what's going on.
Lots happening, as always. Well, we had our Healthy Aging Expo in May, actually on May 14th. We have that in the Monmouth Mall. We had about 40 vendors, hundreds of people in attendance, lots of good stuff. It's always a great success, and this year was really no different.
And I'm really excited that we're partnering a lot more with the Monmouth County Office on Aging and
Yes.
Disabilities and Veteran Services, and they've become a really good partner to us. So kudos to everybody.
And I think that was part of why we had such wonderful attendance, because they really helped us a lot with the publicity. So that was really a wonderful thing. So now I want to remind everyone that classes are still going on through August 1st. And visit, call us, come down and see us. You know, we're on the basement level of the mall, so if you're shopping in the mall, come down and see us. And of course, you can always take one class for free and try it out. And that's especially useful, I would really say, even in the fitness classes. You know, we have yoga, we have chair yoga, a thriving chair yoga class.
Which is great.
It is great. And you know, if you feel like traditional yoga is not right for you because you don't want to be down on the floor, try the chair yoga. Come,
There I am.
yeah, there you go. Try it. We have a wonderful instructor, and you can come in, give it a shot, see how you feel, and if you like it, we'll prorate it for the rest of the semester.
Perfect.
It's really wonderful. Let's see, we also want to give a mention that the Monmouth County Senior Art Show will be held in July. And we don't really have too many details, but as we get more details, we'll put that out on our e-blast.
So for people who don't know, the way that we talk to you lately is not only through
Right.
our new mini, I don't want to call it a catalog, but mini way of providing information about our classes, is that we do have an email blast that we do weekly. So if you just want to get on our e-blast list, please feel free to get in touch with us, and be more than happy to set that up so that you can get good information regularly.
Right, because sometimes that's really going to be the best way for you to get your information. So I always want to remind people, too, if you change your email, you really want to let us know.
Right.
You want to let us know. Now, one of our huge benefits for SCAN that it's definitely worth repeating, of course, we had our Boscov Campus of Courses. That was the whole month of February.
A wonderful month, by
A
the way.
wonderful snowy month, but nevertheless, we had about 650 people registered, so it was really a marvelous event. And we created a brand new benefit, and that was that if you are a SCAN member, all of your Campus of Courses will be for free for the whole year. And that turned out to be huge, and we had lots and lots of members. And also what happened is if you signed up to take a few classes or even one class, we used your money from Boscov towards your membership fee, which is normally $30. So a lot of people wound up getting their membership paid for.
And so what people might not know is what is our Boscov thing. And
Okay.
so twice a year we do 40 classes in 4 weeks. I must tell you that staff is stretched very thin, but it is our opportunity to basically find out what people like and what they want, so that we can offer more of that in
Yeah.
our regular semesters. But also it gets people to meet each other. The whole issue around socialization
Yeah.
is really the future of SCAN. I mean, I think that we are going to be coining a new word. Instead of talking about we do educational programs, we do social educational programs, because our classes are their own communities, and
They
that's
are.
become really
They are.
very obvious to me. And then the other issue of socialization is huge. I mean, the demographics tell us that when people are social, that they stay mentally, physically, and emotionally healthier. And we just have to look at our members to know that, because
Yeah,
they're
true.
doing really great.
True. Another thing with Boscov is it's an opportunity for us to do things that we wouldn't do in our normal semesters. So in addition to a lot of things that you might find classes for, a lot of these one and done special things. So there's, and again, we'll be doing it again in the fall. And if you're a member, you'll go to every one for free.
And as a result of that, we're going to be introducing some new concepts about behind the scenes.
Yes, so we have a new series here at SCAN called a Backstage Pass series, and this is kind of fun. So we've partnered up with a few organizations such as Two River Theater, Monmouth Park, Salt Studios in Asbury Park, just to name a few. And what we're going to do is have some coffee and dessert, a presentation by someone from the organization, and then a kind of a little backstage pass tour. At the theater, it's behind the scenes, the prop room, backstage, where you wouldn't normally get to go. And in the track, well, there's lots of places you wouldn't normally get to go, but we're going to get to go there.
Great.
And then we have a kind of a photo shoot set up in Asbury. So, and more things as we stumble across, people who have something good to offer.
So we really want to know from our members and from our friends
Yeah.
what they'd like to see and know about, because I do think that people want to go places that they never would be invited.
Exactly.
And we can make those arrangements. So if people let us know where they'd like to visit, we can see if we can do some more of those lunch and learns or behind the scene
Or if somebody has a space or has an organization or an opportunity
or a restaurant.
that they would like to bring people in to show us behind the scenes, we're there.
Okay.
Call us.
The other thing is that, summer's here, so it's supposed to
Yeah.
get quiet. It never does. And so we're here. Hopefully, we'll be expanding our hours in the fall. And we're kind of gearing up for that. Just want to remind people that we have a new type of catalog. We're not doing a traditional catalog.
Right.
We're just listing all of our programs, advertising them lots of places, and that we'll start developing newsletters twice a year that have a lot of content in it versus just information about our classes. So I want to thank you for the great job that you do, and
thank
all
you.
of our staff. I'm in and out, as you know. It's keeping track
As
of
am
my
I.
calendar is a bit crazy, but I do appreciate all the work that you do and the staff. And please come on down and see us at SCAN. We're in the basement of the Monmouth Mall. Thank you.
How to locate SCAN. SCAN is easy to locate once you find the movie theater at Monmouth Mall. As you enter the parking lot from Route 35, the theater is almost directly ahead of you. Drive towards the theater, but go up along the left side into the parking lot. As you approach the end, you will see entrance number 3 on your right. Park and enter the building here. Once inside, you will see a staircase that only goes down. After passing through the doors at the bottom, turn to your left, and SCAN is right there.